Are you considering ordering or buying an INEOS Grenadier? Many people, including me, put down deposits and quietly waited for our Grenadiers to be built, all the while hoping that we chose the right selection of options and accessories. Well, deliveries began in other countries late last year and have recently commenced in the US. And I did a survey of the owners' comments on the must-have options that they considered essential in their Grenadier. So today I'm going to run down the top 7 options that you should consider adding to your order when you build a Grenadier. And number 7 might actually surprise you a little bit. Hi, my name's Josh and I'm an INEOS Grenadier superfan who's been waiting for my Grenadier almost 3 years now. Still a few weeks left to wait. And I did a lot of research on all the options that could be added to the Grenadier, as some of them were either lightly described or confusing on the INEOS Build Your Grenadier configurator. I recently did a full video walking through the configurator, which I'll link to in the description. But let's go over this owner-stated must-haves for the Grenadier. First, let's review that there are 3 trim levels for the INEOS Grenadier in the United States and Canada. INEOS refers to this as the station wagon, and it comes in a base model where you can select either an options a la carte, a Trial Master Edition, or a Field Master Edition, which have pre-selected list of added options. While all Grenadier models are all great for off-road adventures, the Trial Master Edition has additional features that maximize the Grenadier for off-road use, including front and rear differentials, BF Goodrich off-road tires on steel wheels, a raised air intake, and upgraded electrics and power options. Conversely, the Field Master has just the center differential and focuses more on the on-road comfort and conveniences for everyday driving, such as heated leather seating, premium audio, 18-inch alloy wheels, and safari windows. Still with serious off-road prowess, but the Trial Master and Field Master is the first fork in the road where you need to make a choice. You can start with a base, a Trial Master, or a Field Master, and can further add some of the Trial Master options onto a Field Master to make it even more off-road capable, or you can add Field Master options to a Trial Master if you feel the desire to have leather seats for your off-road adventures. For those of you who are starting to become Grenadier spotters out in the wild, you can most easily tell a Trial Master by its raised air intake and BF Goodrich tires on steel wheels, whereas the Field Master generally does not have an air intake unless it's been added as an option and sits on 18-inch alloy wheels. It only gets more confusing when you think that either could be a base model with the specific add-ons, but the Bell Staff editions, the Trial Master and Field Master, get unique badges that are located on the exterior just below the driver's side windshield. After I go through my list, I'll show a matrix as to whether the option mentioned is included in the trim level that you have your eye on, as some of them come standard in the Bell Staff editions. Item number 1. The first item that owners say is a must-have on the Grenadier is safari windows. These are the small little windows that sit above the driver and passenger side seats and can pop up or be completely removed and stowed. The consensus has been that they added to the defining look of the Grenadier and also turned out to be more useful than anticipated. Some initial concerns were that it allowed too much sunlight into the driving compartment. However, some of those who did not opt for safari windows have regrets. And you may even see some of the initial available dealer inventory sitting on lots as canceled orders may be the ones without safari windows. The safari windows come standard on the Field Master but must be added to a base model or a Trial Master. Number 2. The next item that you should strongly consider for your Grenadier is tinted privacy glass. This is the dark tinted windows behind the driver's compartment. You should consider adding it because the load space in the back does not come with a cover, so anybody looking in can easily see what you have back there. Of course, you can always have your dealer tint these windows after your vehicle arrives, but coming from the factory, if you want them, is likely a better option. Note that the privacy glass does not come as standard with any of the 3 trim levels, so you must add it if you want it. I always refer to my urban jungle where most on-road cars like the privacy in the rear, so that makes sense to me, but having the tint may not be preferred if you want the most possible light to enter in for visibility. Number 3. This item is not so much an option as you just want to get it right, or should I say you want it to make sense, and that's your color choice. Color choices were announced back in 2022 and they haven't changed. Your task is to select a color and not create a Frankenstein vehicle unless that's what you're going for. I mean, it's actually hard to get it wrong, but adding a red ladder frame under certain colors may stand out for not the right reason. Scottish white is the only no-cost color, but this is not where you should skimp if you have eyes for a different color. However, you might consider adding a contrast color for your roof. Some body colors look like a classic when you add a white contrasting roof to them, while other colors can look sublime with a black roof. Now, the concept of the contrasting roof originated because of heat. If you live in a desert climate, having a white roof will keep the passenger compartment from heating up as much as it would if the roof were a dark body color. Conversely, a black roof in a cold climate will attract more heat than the white. The choice is ultimately yours, so play around with the configurator and come up with something that's just right for you. And a solid body color is okay too. Again, make sure that it resonates with you. And if you're thinking within the confines of selecting a color for better resale potential, comments I have seen to date indicate that all blues are popular, as are all blues with a white contrasting roof. Sailor Green and Magic Mushroom get frequent nods, followed by Donny Gray, and then Silver and Queen's Red getting a little lesser interest. Of course, the area where you live may be different, so just something to think about. And remember, you may be the only person in your neighborhood driving a Grenadier for some time to come. Leave a comment and let everybody know what color you've got your eye on, and we'll see what the most popular is with the community. Of course, if you live near a dealer, you might be able to go in and see a few colors in person, something that those of us who ordered last year couldn't easily do. And you can also scour the internet for images to help you choose your color. Number 4. This one again is more of a preference, but you want to have an intention in your choice, and that is leather seating. Leather seating only comes as standard on the Fieldmaster edition, but it can be added to a base model or a Trial Master. However, if you live in the urban jungle and you are the kind of buyer who likes to keep resale in the back of your mind when you configure a Grenadier, consider adding leather seats and heated seats to your build. It keeps your Grenadier on par with other SUV creature comforts, and even I use heated seats at times, and I live in California. If you stick with the cloth seats, be sure to add the heated seats as they're not included as standard with cloth. Number 5. This must-have was based on owner comments, and it's a trailer hitch. I wasn't expecting this, but it makes sense, and it's only standard on the Trial Master edition. Maybe you want to take jet skis to the lake or take bikes on an outing. A tow hitch makes the outdoors feel possible, even if it never gets used. So everybody seems to want one on their SUV. People who buy serious SUVs and light trucks fancy towing capabilities, so consider this when creating your perfect Grenadier. Number 6. The 6th must-have based on owner comments is the cargo utility rail, or some plan for stowage in the back. Keep in mind that the Grenadier has a big space in the back with no cubbies, compartments, or covers, so adding rails allows you to secure something when you carry it in the back of your Grenadier. The rail comes with 4 tie-down rings, but you can order or purchase extras which can be used for both the cargo and the utility door rails. Number 7. This one has caught many people off guard, and it's very likely a must-have option that you want to be sure that you get, and that is carpeted flooring. You see, rubber flooring with drain valves is the standard across all 3 trim levels, and it seems like the worst offense on the Fieldmaster with its leather interior. Now, this is not to be confused with the carpeted floor mats, which is also an option and is included on the Fieldmaster. I've read complaints from those who unknowingly got the rubber flooring but the carpeted mats and not enjoying the look because they tend to slip around. So be intentional that you need to select both flooring type and the addition of mats. Of course, if you do end up with the rubber flooring, you can easily hose out your Grenadier. Personally, I think the carpet should have been standard on the Fieldmaster edition. And here's one last bonus tip. The Fieldmaster is the only edition which comes with a premium sound audio option, and you should note that it can be added to a base model, but it cannot be added to a Trial Master. The Trial Master comes with an auxiliary battery which lives under the passenger side rear seat, and that's where the premium audio subwoofer would go, so you can only have one or the other, but not both. I know, decisions. So here's the matrix of the additions and the ones that have the options that I mentioned as standard. Feel free to pause the video and take a look. My overall advice is that you start by selecting a Fieldmaster or a trial master, and then add the last few essentials that we've discussed here. However, if you're feeling up to the challenge and have spent loads of time with the configurator, you can certainly build a base model up and end up with your one-of-a-kind Grenadier. I hope that you learned something that you didn't already know. And if you did, please click the like button and let others know that it might be worth their time. Also consider subscribing if you're a Grenadier fan on your path to ordering or recently got your Grenadier. Ordering a new car, or in this case an SUV, is both an exciting and nerve-wracking process. And you get to make all the choices, but you don't want to accidentally miss or leave anything out. I absolutely love the process and enjoy diving into the opinions and comments made by those who are going through the same thing. Feel free to share your experience of ordering your Grenadier in the comments. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.